Good morning, Rabbi Sai. I don't know where to begin. We have guests from all over. First, I want to say Mazel Tov to Rabbi Yisrael Dessler. Mazel Tov. At his own chasana, he put up a big poster of the shir, join the shir, which I want to talk about also today. It's a great time to get people to start Sanhedrin, as we're only 2 weeks away. He went into enemy territory, into Chicago, danced with the picture, danced with the poster. I showed you a video of it. It took a lot of guts, Rabbi Yisrael. Thank you, shkoyach. Hopefully somebody joined this year. I want to talk about our CEO, but before I talk about it, I want to tell you something extremely important that's even the CEO will be asking that I need to talk about this before I talk about him for a second. We have with us today a tremendous, tremendous inspiration. Rabbi Yisrael, get over here. Get over here. You guys are not going to believe this. I'm going to put up a picture here. It's going to blow your mind. Yisrael Chayfetz got married a little over a year ago, and immediately after Shever Brachas discovered, how long ago was it?
3.5 weeks.
No, 3.5 weeks after he gets married, he discovers that he has the machla. And he's sitting in the hospital with chemotherapy, losing his hair. And he never missed a single daf of Gemara through the entire chemotherapy. It's unbelievable. Yisrael, your inspiration to Klal Yisrael. Let me show some pictures over here. Blow it up. You can blow it up. It could be nicer and bigger. Oh, Tazai. And the little, yeah. This is him learning through chemo. This is before he lost his hair. Then he lost his hair over here. You see his hair starting to fall out. And he's never, you understand what this means? To go through chemo as a chassan, literally 3 weeks after he got married. And here he is with us today with what?
It's an expensive present.
Which one? Which part?
The wedding present, the whole thing.
It's unbelievable. A honeymoon. Unbelievable honeymoon. Unbelievable. Wow. You should be healthy and you should continue learning the Daf, continue learning Torah, continue to inspire Klal Yisrael, your inspiration. Thank you so much, Ma. Love you, man. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Another tremendous inspiration. It doesn't get old, but a guy that owns a plumbing company in Muncie. He was inspired by this year. We remember him from, 5-6 years ago. He says, the daf is a stress relief pill. Remember, he said this. And since then, he's just a person that does and does and does. He came in, I don't know how long ago, as the new CEO. And he's getting things done. Some things I agree with, some things I don't. But Lamaisa, every day, he's getting things done. He's shy. He's camera shy. He's shy. But Lamaisa, he's bringing the organization in the right direction. He did the Europe trip, the Shabbaton last year, the Shabbaton this year. It's all him. It's his idea. It's his thing from A to Z. It shows that anybody can do anything. He's a plumber who owns a plumbing company, and he took things and he goes with it. He's not your typical CEO, a polished American guy that writes beautiful emails and knows how to say everything the right way. He's a guy that gets things done. And he does it for one reason. He doesn't get a salary. He does it in order to bring more people to Torah. That is his goal. And he works, I'm not exaggerating, over 8 hours a day for MDY, even though he has a company, and even though his company might be suffering a little bit. Every day it's another excuse. Today I got to do the Europe trip. He's busy. I got to do the Shabbaton. And then it's going to be, I got to do the charity. I'm trying to push it off a little bit. No, I got to do this. Everything, it's another. So it's a big schos to have him here.
Yeah. He's our Musk.
What?
He's our Musk. Elon.
Yeah. Elon Musk of MDY. Dear Belly, I've written to you a couple of times in the past, but what I want to share with you now is why the lives of my wife and I have never been the same since I joined Yevamis. This brought tears to my eyes. Rabbi Sai, Mickey, Hyman. I had major surgery 2 weeks ago, which required to stay in the hospital for 7 days. For those who have surgery, one will know that it's not easy to concentrate on anything. for at least 3 days, but all I kept wanting to do was clear my head, to watch the daf with the rebelli, and that was the real motivating factor in recovering. But what's more, what really is the point of this email, is the rebelli often says that if someone goes to a wedding, a bar mitzvah, has to work late, etc., that is part of regular life, but so should be the daf. And that the person should at least open the Gemara, even for a minute, when they get home. So last night, after having to go back to the hospital, ZR, I returned home extremely late. And as I opened YouTube to begin watching the shir, my wife says, "Oh my gosh, you're really not feeling well. It's midnight, and you're doing the daf. I can't believe it." And I said to her, Rebelli regularly says that if someone goes to a wedding, they should open the Gemara even for a minute. That's why my goal was last night, at least, that was my goal last night, and at least I got to the Hadron. I want to thank you again for all the guidance, humor, and just the way of keeping people connected to Torah and one another. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu repay you 1,000-fold. Your Talmud Mickey Hyman, Cedarhurst, New York. And I think that this individual also taught his wife a lesson. And it's a lesson for the whole mishpacha. They see what's super, super important, what a person does when they're sick, like Yisrael, what a person does when he's tired, when you don't want to learn, when the last thing on your mind is to open up a Gemara, you open up anyway, because that's what's important, and it leaves a tremendous mark and a roishim on a person's family. Just want to share with you a screenshot. There's another person, Shmari Zellingold. Screenshot of someone who I don't know. I run a staffing agency mostly with non-613s. I do have some Haimisha boys that work for me as well. One of my staff, who I've never even met, sent me this message. Rabbi said, when you put it on your status, this is what happens. You're not going to believe it. He put on a status that we're starting a new Masechta that we're learning. Yep. Not only did he share the daf, but he managed to recruit 2 others that I certainly don't know. So you can see that the pay raise that one reaps is endless, that one may not even know until Acher Meya Ve'esrim. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the Shabbaton. Shmari Zellengold, Yuma Daf Beis. P.S. Regards to Nachman Seltzer, Navi Gargir. It says over here in the, maybe I'll blow it up a little bit. Let's see. Hey, what's up? Just want to make your day a little bit better. I started the daf with Eli Stefansky because of you putting it on your status, and not even this, but more. I brought 2 or 3 more people to join the daf. So all of this is your credit. Thanks. I love when people send me messages, then they delete it. And I don't know, it's curious. What did they write that they had to delete? Twice. And then it says, good morning. Thank you for sharing. You absolutely did make my day. Hope to meet you in person one day. He didn't even know what this is. He doesn't know what this is. What's going on here, Rabbi? Let me explain real quickly. When you learn one word of Torah, Omar Rav, that's 2 words. That's 2 mitzvahs. In a minute, you could say 220 words of Torah. 220 words of Torah times the 45 minutes. That's with the emails and everything else. 10,000 mitzvahs. 10,000 mitzvahs. Times 613 says the Chavetz Chaim, and I don't want to even get to that. Let's just say that's equal with all mitzvahs, and it's 1 mitzvah. 10,000 mitzvahs a minute. 45 minutes share. When you bring somebody to learn Torah, you get 10,000 mitzvahs of that person. And you brought that person, and you get 10,000 mitzvahs of the second guy that he brought, and the third guy. These are all your bank account filling up and up and up and up. What did it take you to get that guy to learn? And that's 10,000 a day, times 365 days a year, times 613 mitzvahs that the Chavetz Chaim and the Grasa, each word is worth, because Talmud Torah can we're not going to go into that. The amount of mitzvahs that you pile up for what? From putting it in your status. That's it. It took you 2 minutes, not even. Ding ding. You put a picture, and it goes Sefart, and you get all those chosim. So here you go. One last. Let me see. There's a very important thing. We have a guy here from Cleveland that sat next to me yesterday. Yeah, I read this email for him. Dear Rebelli, remember your recent visit to Reb Aaron Mordechai Lubelski in Stamford Hill. Who could forget Reb Aaron Mordechai, a hero of mine. He's a guy that took inspiration from the shir, cut off an hour or 2 of learning, opened up a shir in Yiddish, and now he stopped learning completely, which I don't recommend for everybody. What? He gave the whole business to his brother.
Stop working, not stop learning.
Oh, I said work. Oh, no, he stopped working. And he concentrates on the daf. He has pictures. It's all in Yiddish, and he has over 1,000 Talmidim in Yiddish. So he says like this. Well, when I went to visit him, you've accidentally started what I can call only the great Stamford Hill daf renaissance. Who knew we had so many closet Gemara enthusiasts? They're coming out of the woodwork. Your visit has created quite a stir. I've been hearing from numerous Hasidic people who discovered Yeshurim and changed their lives. Here's today's stories. 2 stories in one day. Someone posted your Rish Chodesh email this morning, Mati Belsky's breakfast that he got from his wife at 5:59 in Rabbi Mordechai's group. Turns out they've been secretly following both shiurim, yours and Rabbi Mordechai's. At least learning 2 shiurim is easier than juggling 3 graggers on Purim. 2. At 6:11 a.m. precisely, a yeshiva bacher, this I love, listen to this, a yeshiva bacher texts him at 6:11 in the morning. Baruch Hashem, I've completed Daf Kuf Samach Aleph. At 6:11 he finished Kuf Samach Aleph yeshiva. That means he woke up at 5 o'clock to do this. He's managing both full-time yeshiva and your daf thanks to your tablet. I'm starting to suspect some of these bachrim I found a way to bend time. Small request. Listen to this, and this is for you. Could you announce during your shir that anyone from Stamford Hill, Westcliff, and Canvey Island, that's how you pronounce it? Canvey Island, should email mdystamfordhill@gmail.com. In other words, every city, and just yesterday, this Yocheved guy from Cleveland tells me he doesn't even know if people in Cleveland do the daf. And I found a picture of a big siyum that they made, and I forgot to put it in here. There's a siyum, there's a WhatsApp group. If you live in Cleveland, join the MDY WhatsApp group. There's a group there. Be mechazik the group. Get together on Motzi Shabbosim, like they do in Stamford Hill. Now, if you're part of Stamford Hill, mdystamfordhill@gmail.com. Dersh Koilel is the one that told me to go there, and I'm happy he convinced me to go there. We're trying to compile a contact list of all our local daf learners. Thanks for being our accidental revolutionary in the best possible way. Best regards, Mordechai Groskov. On behalf of Hasidim for MDY, and real quickly, here's just somebody sent me this picture. Look what he found in New York. Daf MDY, MDY family, MDY all over. Oh, and here's the 2, if you want to see, this is the proof that the bacher, look at this. This is amazing. I recommend the Rabbi letter. You put over here, you have a friend, and you say, Baruch Hashem, done 159. Baruch Hashem, done 160. Baruch Hashem, done 161. Finally, he gets an answer from his chavrusa. Wow, did not realize you get up so early in the morning to watch. Once in a while, says this bacher, I wake up early when I know that it's going to be a hectic day. Givaldik, so Rabbi Sai. Here we are, one of the longest the shortest dapim in Shas. Really, we need another 10 minutes of email, but it's Beseder. We'll try to, Loyalena will manage. Daf Kuf, Samach, Aleph, Amud Beis, by 4 lines from the bottom. Oh, the sponsors, oh boy. Yes, we love sponsors. The Masechta for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages, Parnassa HaChodesh, and we only have 5 of them. Eli Nishmas Zechariah ben Moshe, Eli Nishmas Chaya bas Yosef. Parnassa HaChodesh Yosef ben Chaya, Sara for Parnassa berevach. Parnassa HaChodesh Tzvi Spero, Refuah Shleimah, Itamar Efraim ben Chaya Balima, Refuah Shleimah. Parnassa HaChodesh Refuah hanefesh and Refuah Guf for Breina Bina bat Miriam baila, or a bracha bat Breina Bina and Netanel Kalev or a bracha. Parnassa HaChodesh for a fast and complete Refuah Shleimah for Shmuel Nechemia ben Hinda. Amen. Parnassa Shavor, Refuah Shleimah for Yosef Shmuel ben Alen Kahen from his grateful family, Refuah Shleimah. Parnassa Shavua, Alen Kahen, Lili in the Shama of my mother, Yocheved Mina bat Avram. Parnassa Yoim, the Katan's family, Lili Nishmas Moshe ben Leir Zechron Levracha. Parnassa Yoim, Benjamin Dasau, for a full recovery of my 6-month-old son, Ro'i Aaron ben Miriam Tzipora. Refuah Shleimah. People shouldn't go through this stuff. 6-month-old. Parnassa Shavua Yom Benny Warftig, in honor of our Bubby's yard side, Miriam Bas Pesach Halevi. Parnassa Yom in memory of Eliano Bas Tzion Nanny. 24/7 mental health hotline. What? Okay. Dr. Label Hanikman, Zechariah Hanikman, and Peretz Chaim Levine, Lilu Nishmas, our father and grandfather. Yerucham ben Aryeh Leva Koyin Hanikman, whose yard side is today, he was Matir Asurim for his fellow Yidden in Bessarabia, something like that. Art of the month, for Schus, for rebellion, the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. Here we go. Please remind me when I turn on Amud Beis, I want to mention a couple of things that I left out that are super important. Also, remember to start, it's only 2 weeks away, start getting the Chevra for Sanhedrin. Omer Bitzchok. Baruch Hashem, we have thousands of Gemaras already donated. 2 people asked yesterday, what else? They want to donate Gemaras. I think we have all the Gemaras. We don't have the marketing maybe. But Baruch Hashem, in terms of Gemaras, we have. In terms of marketing, we don't have. Somebody said he wants to donate, he wants to sponsor Sanhedrin. That was already, most of it was done a few months ago. What? That's true. There's a few halakim. Eino chanami. That's a good point. Omer Bitzcho bar Yosef, Omer Rabbi Yochanan, Daf Kuf Samach Aleph Amud Beis. Kol hamechakim kulan, when you erase something on a shtar, on a get, tzarich sheyichtoi v'dein kiu meihoin. You have to write, these are the proper words, we're mekayim the shtar like this. Yesterday, Yoshi took a little vacation, so I asked our Hebrew editor, his name is Kobe Goldschmidt, just called him up suddenly. I said, could you help us out? And he did a phenomenal job. Here it is. B'shlishi b'Shabbos. Look at this. Eraser. It goes into Sheni b'Shabbos. Very nice. So you could see, if you look closely in this thing, you see Chamesh Shalom Shvamis. It's kind of, but you see him erasing. Instead of Donald, he put in J. Ben Trump. Very nice. Nahar Hotsen Asati Sachuza the Miskir Maralago B'Matona Li'Didi Rav Eli Stefansky. Then he erased that. V'chein Alva Al Sachar $400 Li'Didi Eli Stefansky the Miskir Rebelli. And then he writes, beautiful. Beshura Achas, in line number 1, I erased and I put in Besheni. Beshura Gimel, I put in Brooklyn. Beshura Dal, I put in J. Beshura Zayin, V'chein Halva, Sachar $400. And then after everything, you have to write Shar V'kayim. So there's 2 things that went over here. You write on the bottom of the star, every erasure that you made, every hoisafa, every addition that you made to the star that you had to erase and add. And all the way at the end, you're going to write Sharir V'kayim. Beautiful. Yeah, I'll zoom in just on this. You could even see, you might be able to see where it's like erased. Now you can see where it's erased. You see B'Sheni? Oh, okay. Brooklyn? Okay. Beautiful job that he did. Okay. There's a book. Oh yeah, I forgot to put it in here. It's on the other daf, because there's a book called Every Pencil Has an Eraser. Every pencil has an eraser. People always make mistakes. But perhaps you could say that if you use up your eraser before your pencil, you exaggerated. It's true, people make mistakes, but slow down and stick on the mistakes. No, it's for kids. Every pencil has an eraser. One thing that we have an eraser that's unlimited, and it's unbelievable. It's a gift from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu allows us to do tshuva. People do averis, and then erase as if nothing happened. You rewrite history as if you didn't do it. If you do proper tshuva. So here it is. Here's the star. Maybe I'll zoom in right over here. Oh, but once I zoom in, I can't do that. So here. Shita Achroina is that one last line right before the Adam. As we're going to see, that one line means nothing. Whatever it says on it is 0. We don't consider. So it says over there that I owe Reb Nachman Seltzer $1 million. It's not. We look away. So what do you do there? Either you leave it empty, or you just repeat the whole shtar. So the Rashbam over here, whoever doesn't have the Rashbam, I'll just read it real quickly, because we actually do every single Rashbam and Tosfos. We just don't have the time for it. Today, we have some time, so we'll do 1 or 2. All the way in the bottom, says the Rashbam, this is what we consider. It says at the end of the shtar, so-and-so, the son of so-and-so, gives to so-and-so. All you write is, whatever it says before in the lines before. So you didn't add anything. You're just saying, what it says before. You're doubling up on what you said before. So the Rashbam explains, don't say anything new. Don't add any conditions. That doesn't say up there. It's only what it says up top. Because we don't learn anything. We don't use the last line as information at all. Come on, as we're going to explain why and where. Because if you write something new, then we won't keep the top part. You should only put there things that you don't learn anything. And then you should just write whatever is the top part. And you don't lose out anything because you're not going to do anything with it anyway. We already said the top. Omar, okay. My timer. What's pshat? Omar Rav Amram. Lefi she'ein lemedim meshita achrayna. We don't learn anything from that final line in the shtar. It doesn't do anything for us. And baila, so you put there things, bogus things that are not important at all, repeating what we said in the whole shtar. There's a story of, here's the book that I put in. You found it online or something? Okay. All pencils have erasers because everyone makes mistakes. That's the name of the book. So, a Rebbe comes to a motel, and the owner of the motel has this giant siddur, and the Rebbe realizes this is a very valuable antique siddur that has all the kavanas of the Ari, and you know these siddurim that have a lot of kabbalah in them. Every word is like 3 pages. You know, you go like just the kavanas that you're supposed to have for the l'shem yichud that you're supposed to say before you say this. It is like 20 pages. So he tells this Amaret's guy, he says, listen, I have a small siddur. It'll be much easier. You don't have to go 10 pages every word in Shema and then another 10 pages. Just go. It has the whole thing. Maybe you want to trade. So the guy says, no, thank you. Because, every siddur, when you use it a lot, so the first pages, they tear. And eventually the first page is going to rip out. So I want to have my tefillah in place. So I have a couple of extra pages, spare, that they could rip out. This is the Amaretz, right? It doesn't chap that it's... So, I think maybe you can say the same thing with MDY. Every shir starts off with some emails. If you don't like some of the shir, just you rip off the first part of the shir, and you start from there. It's on YouTube, on the things. It tells you when to start. You can start from Gemara. Every shtar has a line in it that does nothing. It's just there that if something you want to erase something, you want to ignore something, it's there. Zog the Gemara, Amalei Rav Nachman Rav Amram, Menolacha. Why? Why should you leave this one extra line? And the Rashbam says he sticks in. It doesn't say in the shtar Shor V'Kayim. Why do you need this extra line? Amalei Desanya, I'll tell you why. Here you can say there's Shitim and Aksav Pasul. So now we're learning some basic stuff. Goes like this. Here's a shtar that has one line empty. This shtar, kosher. This shtar, pasul. Yeah, this has two lines that are just empty. This is a problem. Why? Because when you have 2 lines that are empty, you could add stuff to it. So it says the Gemara, let's see. Here you can say if you distance the Edim 2 lines from the shtar, the actual shtar itself, minaksav, from the words pasul. Because now you can fill in the 2 lines. Tosfos says you can take a scissors and cut right below the shtar, and now you have a brand new shtar already signed, and now you fill in whatever you want. You bring to Bezdin a brand new shtar. So and so owes me $1 million. Here's the shtar. So says the Gemara, what's the problem? Because shita achas kosher. If you only leave 1 line like this, it is kosher. Why is 2 lines puzzle? You'll fill it in and you'll write whatever you want. As the Gemara, what's the difference? 1 line is enough to say so and so owes me $1 million. You see from here, we don't learn anything. We don't consider it. It means nothing to us. Daf Samach Beis Kuf Samach Beis Amud Beis. Let's do the sponsors. By Kinnovations LLC, in honor of my uncle Rebbe Chanan Pressman and Fischel, it should be a schus for Akiva Simcha Ben Feigo, a shidduch for Rivka Yehudis Bas Yafa Chaya, and a huge thank you to Rebbe Stefansky, plus all the brachas. If I'm mentioning Fischel, I have to mention an unbelievable thing. First of all, Fischel took upon himself to bring more and more people to the daf. He's still offering $1,000 for someone who's never done the daf. Okay? Many people already signed up, and he's still, who's davening over there, loudly?
No one.
Okay. He's saying Tehillim during the thing, but it's great to say Tehillim during the turn of daf, but just low. And this is also a remark to anybody in this room. I'm sensitive to sound. I'm sure there's other people. It says in halacha that you should hear the words of Yishmon Esrei, but it doesn't mean that I should hear you when you're sitting in the back of these measures. I hear people almost every day. And then when the chazor says shots, they get even louder. And I hear two chazanim every day. I don't want to embarrass anybody, so please do me a favor. Like, you got to, the Chavetz Chaim says, don't disturb other people. You should do this halacha, but don't disturb other people. Okay.
The koilo during the turning of the daf.
No, then nobody's going to sponsor turning it up. Okay, pull out do your Shnai Mikra now. It's fine. But I just want to give covet to official. A guy, he's a busy man. He's offering this thing. And he's working Yom V'Layla. I'm putting out a trailer for Sanhedrin in 3D. Crazy thing, a whole on his own. No input from MDY Garnish. He's doing it, and he's working. He wants to bring more people to Torah, offering $1,000. Again. So don't call up and I'm telling you this is the rules. If you did Daf Yomi before, you're not eligible. It's for people that never did the Daf. It doesn't come through MDY. Go to Fischel, go to his place. He gives out the money. I get crazy amount of emails. I want it. I only been doing it for half a year. I started with you in brachas. That's true, but I think I deserve it. I get it. So take it over Fischel. Take it over Fischel. He's also offering 2,000 shekel for chayalim here in Eretz Yisrael. He says Eretz Yisrael is too difficult for him to control. What he's doing is you get onto a WhatsApp group. The way to get the $1,000, you have to check in every day. Done on the WhatsApp group. And twice a week, you send in some sort of something that you have to watch this year. It's not some Daf Yomi, you have to watch this year. That's one thing. So Yishkoach, the official, will see his trailer coming out soon. Danny Fine and Rob Ernst of Elite Israel Realty, welcoming all new Olim, proudly standing with you on your journey. You didn't change your thing. To finishing Shas. Oh, he did. Proudly standing with you on your journey and to finishing Shas together. Okay, fine. Rabbi Isai, there are not that many rooms left compared to other. Most rooms in hotels go like the last week. We are, Baruch Hashem, looks like we're selling out quickly. We have, I think, maybe 50 rooms left, which is a tremendous thing with 3 weeks. I think it's 3 weeks. Oh.
Last 2 weeks. I mean, no, it is 3 weeks because I'm going there on the way.
Right. Whatever, it's 2 weeks from where Nachman Seltzer is going. That's all that counts.
2.5 weeks, yeah. 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks. Yeah. Oh, that's right. It's on Shabbos. Yeah. We're on Wednesday now. You're right. And so they did this thing. It's called. We did it last year. It raised money for MDY, but also gives people that can't afford $1,000, $2,000 because a whole room is $2,000. So raise it. I think it's $89, and it's a raffle. Not that many people, so you have a big chance of winning a room. Last year, Jonathan Stefansky won. I think we have 2 rooms now. Giving out 2 rooms, and if you already paid for your room, you have a chance of you get your money back. So if you win, you get your money back. So, and all money goes to tzedakah, obviously. It's all MDY. It's for people like Yossi Klein who don't make a salary. I don't make a salary. Again, me and Yossi do not make salaries. Fakert, I think, I'm not going to talk about myself, but I know that Yossi put in probably $100,000 of his own money to MDY. So not only doesn't he gives. This year, I'm not talking about last year. So anyway, and not to talk about the thousands and thousands of hours. So this is one of the guys, Mamash, a guy from Lakewood, or Moshe from Lakewood. He runs this whole thing, that's Sizm Shagas. He did it, and a lot of people jumped into it. I think last year I know that he said that you had an option of donating a Gemara also. So you come in there to the thing, then they hook you for another $35. But I don't know, I haven't been there this year. So Gishmak. You don't have to, obviously. You could. Iboilu. Shita umechza mai. We said 2 lines makes a get puzzle. 1 line that's empty and extra is kosher. You can fill it up with whatever shtus you want. Oh, I forgot to say Shalom Aleichem to you. What's your name, Tzaddik?
Aryeh Glatter.
Aryeh
Glatter.
Glatter from? Tinek. You look like a Tineker. I don't know, you have the Tinek face. There's a look. If it says Tinek, that your face comes on the thing. Givaldi. No? Am I making this up? You mask him? Yeah. Okay. What do we have here? You're new? No, I've seen you before many times. Where do I see you?
It's a Shir, that's what I said.
Shir Chutzlars. I don't know. I see it. What's your name? Of course. You're about not the daf. It's not about the what? Remind me? It's not about the daf. It's about the yoni. We all remember him. That's how I remember him. You see, as a tagline. It's not about the daf. You see, I remembered something. Huh? No, that's your son. Shalom Aleichem, Negler. What's your name? Tzvi. Your dad's into daf. It's years already. 4? So brachas on face. He's legit. I know he's on the cruise. No, but I remember his emails from the only Neglers. Okay, Givaldic. Excellent. So you still, how many daf did you miss over this last 1,700 days? None, not a single daf. You're on?
I've made up that, yeah.
Yeah, but unbelievable, unreal. Wow, you only know your voice high. This is a real, guys, for real. Wow, and this is your first time here in Eretz Yisrael, first time in MDY? And I almost missed you. Wow, Yishkoyach. Thank you, Mendy. Wow, you saved me. I would have had a lot of tsar if I wouldn't have said hello to you. All right. So, Iboilu, Shitu Mechzamai. What happens if instead of 2 lines that are missing, which makes the get puzzle, it's only 1.5? Let me show you what it looks like in case you don't know what that means. Here. This is 2 lines, right? 2 lines. Is there any way that you could blow this up, this picture? And here's 1.5 lines, like that. So what's the shaila really? The shaila is, maybe somebody could, I don't know if you get an aliyah, sometimes you have a chance to peek in a Sefer Torah. If the cipher is a little inexperienced, so he writes, and all of a sudden the last word, he says, Oivei, what am I going to do? And he gives a little smush in there. A stretch is one way, and then a smush is another way. A kvetch. There's a kvetch. Sometimes he makes the dalet like 6 inches long. Okay, that's on purpose. A kvetch. It really looks terrible. And you look at it, it looks bad. So a guy could look in that 1.5 lines. He'll put in 2 lines, but he'll make them a little bit, a kvetch this way. That's the question. It's amazing how from a Gemara like this, and we'll see down below another super interesting shaila has nothing to do with a get, with a shtar. This is how halacha works. Could you make lechem mishnah on Shabbos? You run out of challah on Shabbos morning, let's say, where there's a chiyuv shal shudas, you don't really have to do lechem mishnah, la halacha. But let's say you run out of lechem mishnah and you have 1.5 rolls. There's 1.5 rolls considered lechem mishnah. Some sofer talks about it. Some sofer proves that different places in Shas, 1.5 is 2. Like it calls mishmarais, the mishmar in the Beis Hamikdash, 1.5 mishmarais is 2 mishmarais. So he says 1.5 rolls is 2 rolls. Says Rabbi Yosef Engel, but in Bava Basra, Daf Samach Beis, it seems from the Gemara, from this Gemara, it proves that 1.5 is not 2. Because if 1.5 is 2, then we wouldn't have a shaila, it would be possible. That's what he says. You cannot use 1.5 rolls for Lechem Mishnah. I just thought it's fascinating. You go from Lechem Mishnah, you jump from 1.5 to Lechem Mishnah somehow. And we're going to see another very interesting Mamish Ashgacha Prat is 2 and 1 Amud. And it's not from the longest Amudim in Shas. Toshma, I'll bring you a raya. This is a classic raya and a classic shlug above the raya, where the Gemara says it's not a good raya. We learned if you distance the witnesses 2 lines from the shtar, it's possible. So I could infer and be medayek kashita mechza is kosher. 1.5 should be kosher. But that's not a good diuk. Why? Because I'll just do the reverse from the second line. Ema seifa. It says in the seifa, shitach is kosher. 1 line is kosher. So I'll be medayek. Shitach is through the kosher. Shidu mechza possible. So if I could be medayek one way from the first line, I shouldn't say lines here because it's confusing. If I can be medaik one way from the top of this brisa, and then be medaik another way from the bottom of this brisa, so they both contradict each other, so I can't learn anything. So what do I do? It says meforish. It says in the brisa, if I distance the edim 2 lines from the words, puzzle, the star is puzzle. Pachis mikan, kosher. Less than 2 is kosher, so 1.5 is kosher. End the story. Now, Hayu arba v'chamisha edim chasumim al ashtar. There were 4 or 5 edim that was signed in a shtar. V'nimtza echad mehem karev apostle. So Rabbi said, listen, I have hope that we're going to be able to use this technology. It's just, basically we're trying this out. This is what it is. It's expensive to try. I think 3D has a place in the Gemara. Exactly how and when, and if people have a solution. I tried different things just a few weeks ago. We got one of the Koil guys to help out, and I think things have changed a lot in terms of the humor, in terms of the context. Here, not every day do I appreciate it as much as I would like to. I think it has a future. If the Elon disagrees, some people came over and said, listen, I don't get this whole 3D thing. Some people say, I love it, it adds. I'm welcoming all ha'aras in this department. If somebody could help, if somebody thinks we should scratch it, etc., seriously. I take everything.
Everyone who testified will approach and sign.
I love the tzitzis, how they stay. The guy from South Africa thinks the tzitzis are like pieces of metal that come out of here. This guy's puzzled. That's the point.
Ruined everything.
The kids say he ruined everything. That's what he thought. So, Rav Nachman has his Zara. I just saw it in his eyes. Okay. Ashi, you were up?
Why does he have to have a sword? Since it's Zara was
No, his Zara was if he's holding the sword and his other hand looks like that, how is he going to sign? I don't know, one of these.
No, it was. Let's go back to the joke you said about the pirate and the eye.
The eye, yeah.
Say the joke. Come on.
I don't remember. Something about it. You want to say it?
No.
Say it. You say it, because I'm going to mess it up. I know what you're talking about.
So then move on. You say the jokes. You're the magic.
Here, go. Say the joke. How you are I'm gonna. You can't mess up a punchline like that. He had dirt in his eyes. Something. All right. I loved. I got a. Somebody sent me an email yesterday. Seriously, he goes. Yesterday, Reb Nachman Seltzer told you to move on 3 times. He says because I noticed that Mendy didn't, so he has to pick up. It's a whole back and forth. You don't understand what the island is like. You guys are like nervous. You give it nervous energy. You guys are gonna slow down. Slow down. We're gonna make it to the end of the Amud. I'm telling you. I'm not joking. I'm not magzim. That's what he said. 3 times he said. Oh, I'll tell you when it was. He said in the video when I showed him the guy that they found in his house. He said because of you didn't see the punchline. The guy was wearing his underwear. So he says it's a good thing because I actually didn't see it.
The video was way too long.
But you missed the whole geschmack part.
That's what I'm trying. That's you.
Okay, fine.
You could take
You have a star with 5 people. So listen to this. Rabbi said this is a big chiddush. You would never know this. Remember how the other day we were talking about this case that I got an email from, his name was Shleiplutzker, on purpose. He put a funny name there. He says it's not a kavadik to put chassidim in shtreimels and bathing suits. A whole zach. This is hazama, imanu yisam. But you remember, imanu yisam means, how could you testify that you saw somebody killing someone when you were with me on a cruise ship? Imanu yisam. What if only one guy was on a cruise ship? One guy. 4 guys came to Bezdin to testify. We all 4 saw this guy murder somebody. And then they said, well, one of you, imanu yisam, you're on a cruise ship. What's the halacha? The whole thing goes 5. Correct. I see Dr. Epstein remembers. Everything goes 5. So, l'chayra, if you have a shtar with 4 people signing, and one of them is a liar, one of them is your father, one of them is your son, what should be the halacha? The whole thing is possible. Then it's not possible. But it's 1 out of 4. So says the Gemara like this, it's an unbelievable chiddush. Possible. One of them was a karev. This guy you made this bishar. All you need is 2. Make sure 2 are good. Why? The svar is very simple. As we said before, the last line is a bunch of bogus. It's narishkeit. You put in there just to fill it up. You don't want people to, if you have 2 lines, two vacant lines, 2 empty lines, somebody could put in $1 million. So what do? You fill it up with, oh, the star talks about this and this, or you put in your son's signature. They said, I have a beautiful ksuba that my wife's aunt made for our chassan, beautiful piece of art. But he said, you can't put your ksuba on a wall. It's not nice. So I signed it. And my brother signed it. It's both. Sometimes you put, okay, that's not a good raya. That's a posel star. But in this case, you put fake names to just fill up the space so nobody could add in $1 million in there. So that's why it works over here. Rabbi Zilsheim brings a very interesting story.
It has to be the first name, though. It can't be the last name. It has to be the one closest to the empty line.
I don't know if what you're saying is true. Why? Because dafka over there, you're filling it up. That's what. No, in general, the whole idea is once it doesn't say this in the Gemara. That I also thought about what you're saying. I don't know if that's true. We have to look it up in halacha. It seems like there's no difference where it is. One puzzle aid doesn't make your get kosher. Puzzle. One puzzle guy. What? Is Machlokes Rishonim about it?
Why don't they just scroll line through the line? Finished.
Okay. About right. I hear.
Be puzzle information.
But what if, yes, it doesn't bother. What if a guy messed up? He should, you're right, he should. A real guy in Bezdin knows better. But what if a guy messed up? He says, you know what, let me put my own son's name here because I just want to fill up. It's Machlokes Rishonim. I go with the Rishonim. I bet you the Rashba says that it means all lines. I go with Rashba all the time. I like the Rashba. Okay, anyway. You hear what Yosef says? A guy, a Kohen, a Meiser Shaya, a Kohen got divorced. His kids got on his case. Why did you divorce mommy? You mishuggah, made him crazy. Remarry her. So you can't, I'm a Kohen. So he looked into it, and similar to the famous Maisa, we have a bunch of guests here. So I'll say over the Maisa, even though I said it a bunch of times, and it's a terrible story. But when I was 19 years old, I was at a chasana of a guy that lives here in Ramat Bet Shemesh. And he honored me as an Eid Kiddushin because I was instrumental in helping the shidduch go along. So he says, they call up a friend of the chassan, Eli Stefansky, mechubed with the Eid Kiddushin. I get up there on the stage in front of everybody, and there's like, 300-400 people in a big hall, sitting American, everybody's quiet. The mic was on, and the Rosh Yeshiva, who I learned in his yeshiva, he looks at me, you're puzzled to Eidos. Go back to your seat. And the whole place heard it. It was, I didn't care at the time. I didn't care. Now I'm looking back, like, why did you do that? I was 19 years old. It was a geschmack. I never was on the stage before. I got to be on there for a minute, and he called me puzzle Eidos. He didn't really mean, he meant you're 19-year-old schnook. Get out of here. Eidi Kiddushin is one of the most important things. He's right. The way he said it wasn't so nice. He didn't think, maybe he didn't know that the mic was on. It was a hot mic. And whatever. The mafreya should be mad. I wasn't upset at him then. It didn't bother me. But anyways, call me Pasal Eidos. I said the story over last night. People came over to me. So why are you taka Pasal Eidos? I said, no, I was 19 years old. So I was Pasal Eidos because when I grew up and I was 52, I had a smartphone. So the mafreya, I was Pasal Eidos. Okay, whatever.
You didn't have a beard. You didn't have a beard, so you're puzzled.
No, I'm serious. Some of the and his son is sitting here. Noam Fix's son Aaron. He says, "You were my Eid Kiddushin." I said, "You better do it over, man." So anyway, it's almost Shachris. So he found out that one of the Eidim on the Kiddushin was his aunt's husband. So he wanted to say that the Kiddushin was possible and therefore he was never married, so he could redo it, the whole thing. But he said at the end of the day, according to the Rambam, it's problematic. So he didn't remarry. But I just thought it was interesting. So it says the Gemara like this. Sheleyma, Misayeh, listen to this chiddush. This is unbelievable, Rabbi Isai. How does this fit into this sugya? Misayeh leChizkiah. This is a raya to Chizkiah, the Amar Chizkiah. Milo b'kroivim kosher. If you fill in the 2 lines of emptiness in the shtar with your relatives, the shtar is kosher. V'al and you're going to ask me an unbelievable question. 2 lines, 2 emptiness in a shtar. What's halacha? Pasul. And 2 lines full of your own relatives is kosher? How could that be? No, I'll bring you right from Masechta Sukkah. Sharei Avir Sukkah Poisel B'Shloisha. A sukkah that here's the picture. Here's a sukkah from the top. You have schach, and it's missing schach. If it's only 3 tfachim, if it's exactly 3 tfachim, it makes the sukkah pasul. But guess what? What if you put something that's pasul in that air? Put a bunch of bikes, a washing machine. It's pasul for schach. Then the sukkah is kosher. Only if you put 4 tfachim of metal and who knows what does it become pasul. So what do you see? Air, nothing is worse than something pasul. Over here also, air, 2 empty lines is worse than pasul. Says the Kotzker Rebbe, what's the worst thing in this world? The worst thing in the world is shiamum, is boredom. I was on a plane. I was coming from Europe to Eretz Yisrael, and I saw a guy that could not watch the movies. He couldn't, okay? Maybe he was Hasidish. I'm not going to say what he was. He couldn't watch the movies in front of everybody. But he didn't have a saver with him. He didn't do the daf either. It's probably also do the daf. I don't know. He was bored. It hurt me to watch him. He was standing up and he was looking at the ceiling. Then he opened up the over thing and then he closed it. Then he opened up again. Then he went to the other side and he's looking and he's walking back and forth. You never saw such boredom. The worst thing in the world is boredom. So the Kotzker Rebbe says this. Go swimming. Do something that is slightly problematic, like sports maybe. I'm not even saying what to do. I don't know. Do something. Read a book. To sit and look at the sky, to make another coffee like this, just to make it slow because I want to take the time. That's the worst thing. Ear is worse than puzzle. Even if it's puzzle, in your thing, I don't know what, go learn, do karate, do whatever it is. Don't do puzzle. Hold on. So, time out. Reb Chaim Volozhin says in Ruach Chaim, what?
Looking at the sky
is worse than emails. If you're doing emunah, if you're looking at the Kosh Baruch Hu, if you're standing and looking at Kosh Baruch Hu, you're right. But if you're looking and doing nothing, you're looking at the track, you're going like this, and then you're going to this. Okay, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. No, that's when the boys get into trouble. They start breaking mirrors. They start vandalism. The Bava Basra starts vandalizing cars. That's Bava Basra. Get a job. Do something. Mop the floor. I don't know what. Anyway, no, I'm saying some yeshivas, give them something to do. Arts and crafts. I don't know what. So time out. Reb Chaim Volozhin says in Ruach HaChaim that this is the famous Mishnah. Bim Bagbag. Let's sing Bim Bagbag for a second. Bim Bagbag. Bim Bagbag, Bim Bagbag, Oimer. Rabbi Sai! Bim Bagbag, Bim Bagbag, Oimer, Oimer. Hafach, Bavag. We're not done. Reb Nochem. I heard you have a good voice. No? So let's go. Let's sing. Where are you going? Listen, no. This is very... Rabbi said, listen, this is very, very chashuv. Bim Bagbag says that you could see all the Torah, even halachas that you don't understand, and they might not make sense to you, they have something to do with something. And he says you can learn from Masechtas Sukkah how to be matir and aguna. Reb Shafsa Yudalevich goes to Reb Chaim Kanievsky and he says, I learned the entire Sukkah dozens of times, and I don't see anything in Masechtas Sukkah that talks about an aguna. How can I be matir and aguna? So Reb Chaim Kanievsky looks at him, he says, Bava Basra Kuf Samach Beis. What he meant is this Gemara right over here. So you have an aguna, and you look at her ksuba, at her get, and you see that there's 2 lines missing. It says over here that 2 lines is worse than filling it up with something, and it can be matter based on this Gemara over here. And it says Reb Shafsek Yudalevich that it's not a get. And Mamela, she's okay, I hear. Or you fill in kroivim. Let's say you fill in the kroivim, so it's a good get. So says Reb Shafsek Yudalevich, stop. How do you remember it? Kuf Samach Beis Kesher Sukkah to Bava Basra. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.